up YouTube, WG Revival. This is a cup of tea, and I'm a Wargamer. Okay, if you're watching this in late 2016, and you're the sort of person that watches my videos, you know what this is. Just in case you're not, if you've stumbled on this by accident, or if you're watching this from the future, Wargamer Viking, or Spud Tate as we know him, started a thing. He nominated 3 people, asked them 5 questions, asked them to nominate 3 more people. It's kind of a chain letter thing. I was nominated by Ian, the Diomede F16. Ian is a fantastic channel, fantastic person, fantastic wargamer. He's got a great sense of dedication. He just gets on with stuff, produces a lot of stuff, a lot of different stuff. To give you an example, a long time ago I started a War of the Roses project. I painted 7 figures, made a video about it. Not a lot else happened, to be quite honest. It's a bit of a shame. I kind of sort of dropped the ball, went on and did something else. In that time, Ian saw my video, thought, oh, War of the Roses, that sounds quite good. Built the Lancastrian army, built the Yorkist army, did several videos of him fighting, moved on to something else. He's a really prolific guy, fascinating bloke, well worth watching. If you're watching me, you've probably already subscribed to him, but do subscribe, there's a link down below. On to the questions. First question, what inspired you to do YouTube? It's a simple answer, dread, or solvent abuse. I was at the West Midlands military show about 18 months ago in Wolverhampton. If you remember back then, Dread had a brilliant bolt action table. He'd taken that along, he was showing that off, Pezapoo was playing on it. Didn't get a chance to talk to Pezapoo, did talk to Dread, chatting away, and he asked me a question, where's your channel? I was about to come out with my usual load of excuses, got a very demanding job, I do a part-time degree, I haven't got time, and then I just thought, actually why not? Well, yeah, okay, well, I'll do that. And it took a while. It took a while of just sort of filming stuff and thinking that's rubbish, I'm just talking crap, my voice sounds really boring and everything else. But after a few, I got better at it, and I did one, so I just almost ran around the house going, you know, it's not crap, it's not crap. And I put it up, and a couple of people subscribed, and I thought, this is alright. Question 2. Where do you want your channel to go? Well, I've got a staggering lack of ambition for this channel. Well, I want it to go more stuff. I mean, for me, it's a sort of hobby first and channel second, so I'm mostly doing completed stuff. That's been in short supply lately, therefore videos are in short supply. And I just want to be producing more painted figures, more painted bits of terrain, just more stuff to show on the channel. So I suppose that's where I want it to go. And the next question is, where can I see my channel in 5 years time? And again, it's more of the same. I just want more content on there. I want more painted figures going on. I want to be just more involved in it. I think in 5 years time my degree will be over one way or another, and I will have more free time. Whether that goes on this or goes on sleeping or whatever remains to be seen, but just more of the same. I just want more stuff, more interaction, more time to watch your videos as well. Any advice for someone setting up a YouTube channel? Just have a go. Don't worry about gear. I've got 2 tripods. I've got a floor tripod that I'm using now, and I've got a little desktop tripod that I use for most of my shots where I'm looking at a cutting mat with something on it. Other than that, there's a mid-range stills camera. It's a Panasonic DX something LX3, which I got about 5 years ago. It wasn't the latest and greatest camera then either, but it's got a good image sensor on it and so on. And it's a decent enough camera, but you can do it with any camera. It's not even a dedicated video camera, it's a stills camera. I use my smartphone a bit, but mostly it's one of these 2 tripods and the Panasonic Lumix there. It's not a lot of gear. So just have a go, just pick up a camera, pick up your smartphone, ideally get a tripod because no one wants to watch wobbly camera, but you know, don't sweat the gear too much, don't, unless that's your thing. If you're really into the gear, then that's probably part of your hobby as well. Number two, don't expect to make a living from this. I'm as amateur as you get with this, you know. People are looking out to industry. They may be looking for things as competition prizes or things to review, you know, and that's fine. Some people are taking it further where they've got subscription models or the Patreon involved and everything else. But generally speaking, they've still got to work for a living. I think Beasts of War are making a living out of it, probably many Wargaming are. You go down, I mean, like Mel the Terrain Shooter, he's got maybe half the number of subs that Beasts of War have, but he's still having to work, I think, 3 or 4 days a week, and he's doing 1 or 2 days a week channel, and it's impressive, and yeah, I admire his dedication and everything. I wish him absolutely the very best. Now, I'm all for people making a living out of any sector of this industry, but the chances are that your channel won't do. You're going to have to work your arse off, you're going to have to probably suffer a massive drop in income, and it's going to take a heck of a long time to get up there, and there's no guarantee that any amount of work is going to make a living out of it. So instead, just have a laugh. It's a part of the hobby, it's an extension of the hobby, or it's another hobby that is related to the wargaming hobby. However way it is most likely going to be a hobby rather than you quitting work and being a full-time channel. If you do quit work and be a full-time channel, best of luck with that, really, but probably not. And then on the technical side, the last thing I've got is to manual focus. If you're doing close-ups of video, close-ups of miniatures, I do this, you know, the ones on the cutting mat. I'll just focus it on the figure and try and not move it around too much forward and backward, so it stays in focus without relying on the autofocus. Autofocus is great when you're looking at subjects the size of me or the size of a dog or a car or something, yeah, largish objects. When it's looking at a 28mm figure, it struggles because of the small far away thing. It doesn't know how to sort of cope with that. Manual focus, if you can do that, it doesn't always work if you're moving around, if you're sort of going over a battlefield or doing a big army shot or something, doesn't always work, but if you're doing close-up stuff, try and manual focus. What would you do to improve YouTube for the community? I would like, in Video Manager I'd like folders, because I mean I edit my stuff, mostly I edit it on YouTube software itself. I don't have fancy software here. I'm just uploading clips, cobbling them together in Video Manager, and it sometimes, you know, if it's a terrain project or something, I can be having months of wait in between stuff sometimes, you know, so I'd like to just upload it into a folder and then put it all together later, rather than just having this big list of videos that it's not as useful. That's kind of a niche thing, just for the way I put videos together. I would have name tags, so I could have by default everything would be tagged, let's say with tabletop gaming, 28mm wargaming, something like that, just an example of things that everyone else would use, so that our stuff would all be tagged similarly. So if I'm watching one of Ringo's videos, then something similarly tagged, let's say from British Legion, would pop up in the recommendations, and it just makes it all a bit easier for us to find more related stuff, rather than I'm watching a video about games, therefore here's a load of stuff in the right hand column about computer games. It's a bit of SEO. I'm asking Google to SEO a bit better, over the irony. We finish with nominations. So I'll begin with Celt of Canoe. I think he's a brilliant channel. He does a lot of battle reports. There's a lot of Saga in there. I'm a big fan of Saga. It's not limited to Saga though. I mean, there's like Lord of the Rings. There's a few other things that he covers. He's a really enthusiastic guy. He's got some really like nicely painted armies and stuff, and I think it's a great channel. It's well worth a look, particularly if you like Saga, but also if you like Lord of the Rings. Lots of the things like that. Another one, there's a few people have requested this, but I think it's appropriate for me to do as well. Blue Chair 1815 Red. Not been seen for a long time. He was a great channel. Took 20mm Napoleonics, really a lot of 28mm Napoleonics. Also had a very stylish scooter as well. And not been seen for a while. Blue Shirt, I hope you're alright. I hope everything's going well for you down in Devon, even though you're not making videos right now. But it's very unlikely that I'm going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back and gets you back on here, but just on the off chance, come back mate, we miss you. And finally, a related one, someone that I've not seen around for a while. This is for a very good reason. It's Reefy. Reefy is a Welsh chap. Did a lot with Wargamer 8th edition, which is why I started watching his channel. He's also really funny. Very long videos. Again, great hobbyist, great painter. Bajillions of beautifully painted armies. He's basically gone on hiatus because his friend and channel collaborator Martin sadly died very unexpectedly, and I completely understand that that's going to really take the shine off YouTube for you and so on, but if you can find it in your heart to come back to us, Reefy, then there'll be a warm welcome for you. If not, well, I understand mate, take care, lots of love. Well, that's my nominations, that's my droning on. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with something more traditional before too long. Thanks for watching, I'll speak to you soon.